This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, folks, welcome. This is Racer Radio on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
We're going to dedicate today's show not only to Father's Day and all the great father teams out there, father-son racers, but we're also going to donate it to Ron Overman. Ron Overman was a class act. This guy, if anybody knew him, they were blessed. He raced at Cajon Speedway, and when he wasn't racing, he was taking care of his wonderful family, and his second love was fishing. There wasn't a fish in the pond safe when Ron Overman was in the boat. So God bless Ron. I had a chance to interview him a couple times. He raced at Cajon Speedway, and I just can't tell you any more than he was just a class act. All right, because it is Father's Day, Brittany decided we were going to put together kind of a Father's Day show.
I couldn't help myself.
And you went out and found a couple of fathers.
I did.
They're not real good with math, but they're really good as a father-son team. Yeah, I know. Are you sure they're on the line? Because they couldn't figure out what the time zone was.
Stop it, Dave. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brandon, back there, and Dave. I know it's not ideal to have two separate callers calling from two different
parts
states,
of the country.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
But we couldn't have the interview with one and not the other.
And you pulled it off.
Yes, we have a son calling from Colorado, and we have the father coming from, I believe, Idaho. We have Ben and Roger Haney.
How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you guys?
So, since you guys aren't racing, I guess you're...
No. Oh, whoa.
Are they racing?
They're not just racing. How'd you do last night, Ben?
Oh, you went racing.
We went racing I-76 Speedway, and unfortunately, Dad wasn't able to make it, but we did get the win last night.
They got the win, Dave. And whose birthday was it?
Fantastic.
It was my birthday.
He got the win on his birthday.
Happy birthday, Ben.
Fantastic. So, now what do you drive?
I drive a Dwarf Cars Spirit chassis with a Suzuki 1000 in it.
Son of a gun.
And what does your dad drive?
My dad
drive
also
his car that he...
Go ahead, Dad.
I said I drive the car that he sold last time to get his new one. So I drive basically the same rig.
Ah, same chassis?
Yeah, Spirit chassis. And now I've moved on to a little pickup.
But still a dwarf car. Same division.
Okay, yeah.
But looks like a...
Now, why would you do that? Does it drive any different? Does it handle any different?
Well, we were always told it would handle a little different, but I've compared it against the last chassis, and it does real well. I like it.
That's awesome. So they're in the same division. So you guys have raced each other, right?
A couple times, yeah. We raced probably about 12 years ago was the first time we met each other. And his goal is always not to get lapped, and my goal is to lap him. So
how'd that go for you guys?
How'd that work out?
Well, the first race we raced together, it worked out pretty good for Dad because he finished the race and he didn't get lapped. But we just had one in Wyoming, and unfortunately, on the last corner of the last lap, I got lapped.
Oh!
Who lapped you?
My son, he won the race, and he took me out.
What a Father's Day gift.
Now, that wasn't the fiery weekend, was it? Didn't you guys lose a couple motors, or you were spectacular about a month ago, right?
No one's gonna talk about lunch.
Too soon? Was it too soon to bring up?
Yeah.
You really won't just say that we lost 5 motors in the last 4 races.
Wait, 5 motors in how many races?
4 races.
What bank are you robbing?
Wow.
He owns a bank of horse shoeing because I shoe horses for a living.
Yeah, he shoes horses.
Oh, right. So you must watch that Forged in Fire. I'll wait for you when you go on that show.
Yeah, no, I'll stick to racing.
I think I've actually seen him show up with a horse trailer.
I can imagine, with his race car stuffed in it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, whatever fits. Hey, so let me ask you, because I had some Dwarf Car kids on our TV show here in town, and they're saying that finding these motors are getting difficult as nobody's business, because you're looking for, what, 06, 07 Suzuki and Kawasaki motors?
Yeah, so right now the hot motor is a 07, 08 is what everybody says.
That's what I have.
Do you really? I didn't know you
I
had
have an
that.
07, 08. You're talking the Gixxer, right?
Yep, GSXR.
It's so hard to come by them, and especially when people blow them up, right and left like 5 times in 4 weekends. Like,
Yeah, but when they blow, are they rebuildable when you blow them up, or are they like a grenade?
Oh, that's a good question. They are rebuildable to a point. If there's a hole in the block, no. But
Yeah.
if you save it, yeah, you can sometimes rebuild them.
yeah, I've seen some fireballs.
And saving it, is that what you call lifting off the gas pedal?
Well, that's when you hear a knock, you stop, and I don't usually stop.
It's a great one. When you hear a knocking, you gotta stop him.
Hey, so let's ask Dad for a second. Now, it sounds to me like, did you race for a long period of time and then your son picked it up, or did your son get into racing and then you picked it up?
It would be the latter. I never raced at all in my lifetime, and it was always a dream, but never did have an avenue to get there, and never even thought it would be something I could, attain. So when he offered me his hand-me-down dwarf car, I think he expected a no, and I said yes and shocked the heck.
You called him on it.
That's awesome.
I applaud you, Roger. I'm a big believer it's never too late to start.
No. We got a racing school teacher here. So you guys are in 2 different states, but are you in the same division?
Same. We drive dwarf cars, but when we go to the over to California, they separate us. I'm in a kind of like a beginner's class called the sportsman, and he's in the pro class. So we don't race against each other then. But so I race in Wyoming. They put us all out on the track at the same time. So that was our first chance to really race against each other.
Wow,
That's awesome.
So how many years have you been driving, Dad?
I've only been driving 5 races, so not
I
years.
love it. I love it. And he has such a good attitude.
So what, 5 wins?
Yeah. Well, that was a hefty laugh.
Like I say, my goal is to survive and not get lapped.
You got to start somewhere.
I love it. Well, hey,
But we had
go ahead.
in Wyoming. We had a field of about 40 cars, and I was able to make the A main.
Nice.
So I was included with some pros there and everything.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was a pretty good accomplishment.
Darn right. Well, and for not having any experience, I mean, did you go to a driving school, or is this all by hard knocks?
This is driving school. My first event was Kokopah National.
Oh, my gosh.
Holy
that's not
man.
easy. That's a half-mile track.
That's not a school.
That is some speed. So
The School of Being with Ben Haney was probably a pretty good start.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Would you sincerely listen to what your son has to tell you?
Hey, it's Father's Day. Don't be getting him in this kind of a situation. Hey, before I can't tell you, but it's almost, the segment's almost over, but I do this with every race driver because you're going to get this show, and I highly recommend you share it with your sponsors. So we'll start with Dad. Who's on the car?
Well, it's been horseshoeing on mine. He's my only sponsor.
Okay, that works. And the son?
We got Ben Haney Horseshoeing, Spirit Chassis, Damron Racing, Nunco Motorsports, and BLG Nation Graphics on here.
All right.
Good
Well,
list.
I tell you what, if you guys ever get out to California and if you race at either Verona or Paris, You let us know ahead of time, and I will put both of you on the local television station. And we're the only ones down here that support all forms of racing. But since I've hooked up with Britney, I think everything I've had on has been a dwarf car.
I try not to. It's just there's so many good people.
But I would be happy to offer you guys. It doesn't cost anything, and your sponsors will absolutely love it.
Well, tentative plan for 2021, Dad don't even know this yet, is taking my rig down to California and leaving it for the summer. We're going to race the whole California circuit.
Nice.
All right. Well, hey, Dad, happy Father's Day. And it sounds like you've got a great son. And any son that would be so silly to give you a race car thinking that he could beat you, boy, has he got a lot to learn. So go get him, Dad.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much. We'll see ya.
All
Take
right,
care.
folks. We're going to take a quick